Good, happy Wednesday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. We have our behind the scenes going as well, so feel free to look at the behind the scenes video. I shared it on my regular page, and it's on the Riley King Network Facebook page as well, so be sure to tune in on behind the scenes or on this one as well. We have lots of news to get to, so let's begin your Wednesday morning with your news. First up, I-93 blasting may be blamed for unsafe well water in Windham. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
When I created New Nor Selects, I looked for real ingredients, for real taste. Absolutely no artificial flavors or...
Some well water in Windham is no longer safe to drink or cook with. Wells had been tested before blasting on I-93 began. Then in March,
they came back and said our nitrate levels had gone up. Well, to the point that we couldn't use our water anymore.
But it's only inconvenient when you're cooking.
Several homes on Tarbell Road now receive bottled water. The Department of Transportation says of the 5 wells with elevated nitrate levels on that road, one showed high levels before the blasting began. The Kerrigan family is getting used to the bottles.
In the beginning, yes, we had to constantly remind them, but now they've got it under control now. Now they don't even try.
Little things you don't even think about. Ice. Gotta get ice from the store.
Not all of the wells on this street have been affected. You go up one house and their water is fine.
They come every couple weeks, they test our well, and so far, knock wood, the levels have stayed level in our well.
Water's not an issue for all, but everyone in the neighborhood lives with the blasting.
The house shaking every day, a couple times a day when it goes off.
Neighbors say they're alerted by text message when the explosions will happen.
The biggest question for a homeowner like myself is what's happening underground? What's happening to my pool? What is happening to my well? What's happening to the foundation that you can't see?
DOT says the wells should all go back to normal after the blasting ends. In Windham, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Thousands without power across several Cape Cod towns. Residents and vacationers were left in the dark across many parts of the Lower Cape Tuesday night after a large power outage left thousands of customers without electricity. Eversource's website indicated over 8,000 customers were without power across Provincetown, Truro, and Wellfleet as of 11 p.m. Tuesday night. The website said 77% of customers were in the dark in Provincetown as of 11 p.m. Tuesday night, 100% of the customers in Trio and 22% of the customers in Wellfleet. According to Eversource, the problem was a line-feeding substation. They estimated power would be restored sometime overnight. Customers on Twitter reported the loss of power or lights flickering. No estimate of restoration was given. The large power outage across Lower Cape comes hours after Provincetown had surge affect their sewer system software, which affected the Peninsula sewer system. Town officials urged the public to limit use of the system throughout the day, recommending flushing toilets only when necessary, using disposable dishwasher when possible, and refraining from non-essential use of showers, dishwashers, or laundry washing machines. Public restrooms were closed and portable toilets were put in place next to existing public restrooms for use. And there you go on that report. Police charge boyfriend with murder and J woman's death. Let's take a listen to this video from WMTW News 8 in Maine.
A Blue Ridge ductless mini split is one of the most efficient ways to heat and cool your home. They're a perfect choice for additions, garages, or rooms.
Tracy and Steve, we just got this information only a few moments ago. State police have now identified the victim in this homicide as Wendy Douglas. Now, state police say this morning a man walked into the Androscoggin County Sheriff's Office and told them there was a deceased person inside the home. J Police then responded, came to the home, and found the woman inside. That man was taken into custody and will be charged with murder. Police have identified him as James Sweeney. They said that he was Wendy Douglas's significant other. Police say the investigation is just getting started and there's a lot more work to be done.
We're right in the process now of obtaining a search warrant. That's been done. The evidence response team will be making entry. They'll be examining the scene, collecting evidence and so forth, and having that transport up to the State Police Crime Lab for further examination.
An autopsy is currently scheduled for tomorrow morning, and James Sweeney will likely be arraigned tomorrow afternoon. For now, in J, Aaron Dixon, WMTW News 8.
All right.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Amazon says customers ordered more than 3 times as many Echo speakers than during Prime Day in 2016. Amazon Inc. said on Tuesday its Prime Day sale was on track to be the biggest shopping event in history by sales. The world's largest online retail said customers ordered more than 3 times as many Echo family speakers than during Prime Day 2016, which at the time broke records for Amazon devices. Analysts why Donald Trump Jr. emails change the game on Russia. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Only Tylenol rapid release gels have laser drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. Tylenol.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin tonight with Donald Trump Jr.'s own emails. The president's son was told during the campaign that he was about to get dirt on Hillary Clinton, and he was told in those emails that the Russian government was out to help his father win. Don Jr. agreeing to the meeting, a Russian lawyer making the trip to Trump Tower here in New York City. In the email exchange, told to go to the 25th floor. Tonight, reaction has been swift, and the White House issuing a statement from President Trump about his son. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
It's a startling development. The emails show Donald Trump Jr. was told the Russian government was trying to help his father's campaign and that he was willing, even eager, to accept their help. The emails come from Rob Goldstone, a Trump acquaintance and publicist who was involved in the Miss Universe pageant in Moscow and who has Russian clients with ties to Vladimir Putin. The subject line of the email chain, Russia, Clinton, private and confidential. On June 3rd, 2016, Goldstone tells Don Jr. that, quote, the Crown Prosecutor of Russia offered to provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary and her deals with Russia and would be very useful to your father. This is obviously very high level and sensitive information, but it is part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. Less than 20 minutes later, Don Jr. responds, "Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. If it's what you say, I love it, especially later in the summer." 4 days later, on that same chain, Goldstone emails Don Jr. about setting up a meeting in New York with the Russian government attorney who is flying over from Moscow. Don Jr. replies, "Great. It will likely be Paul Manafort, campaign boss, my brother-in-law, and me. 725 Fifth Avenue, 25th floor. That's Trump Tower." The next day, Don Jr. forwards the full email chain to Kushner and Manafort with that same subject line, Russia, Clinton, private and confidential. And the day after that, the meeting takes place inside Trump Tower. Don Jr. says nothing of value came from the meeting and that he released the emails today himself to, quote, be totally transparent. But the New York Times says he only released them after he was told the Times was about to publish the emails. There's no evidence the Russian lawyer actually provided any information on Hillary Clinton and in fact denies doing so. Also unclear whether she had anything to do with the WikiLeaks release of nearly 20,000 DNC emails that happened 6 weeks later. But the meeting appears to contradict the denials from Trump advisors and the president himself that the campaign had any contacts whatsoever with the Putin regime.
Are there any ties between Mr. Trump, you or your campaign, and Putin and his regime?
No, there are not. It's absurd, and there's no basis to it.
Did anyone involved in the Trump campaign have any contact with Russians?
Absolutely not, and I discussed that with the president-elect just last night.
I have nothing to do with Russia. To the best of my knowledge, no person that I deal with does.
And just weeks after that Trump Tower meeting, Don Jr. angrily dismissed suggestions the Trump campaign had anything to do with Russia.
It's disgusting. It's so phony. I can't think of bigger lies, but that exactly goes to show you what the DNC and what the Clinton camp will do. They will lie and do anything to win.
Today at the White House, spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders, in a briefing where cameras were not allowed, read this one-line statement from the president.
My son is a high-quality person, and I applaud his transparency.
She refused to take any further questions on the matter. And tonight, Donald Trump Jr. is speaking out.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently. Again, this is before the Russia mania. This is before they were building it up in the press. For me, this was opposition research. They had something, maybe concrete evidence to all the stories I'd been hearing about, but they were probably underreported for, years, not just during the campaign. So I think I wanted to hear it out.
While the president normally takes a fight like this head on, we haven't caught a glimpse of him here at the White House for 2 days. Not a single public event on his schedule. I am told behind the closed doors here at the White House, the president is furious, fuming at his aides, frustrated that this Russia story simply will not go away. David?
John Carl leading us off tonight. John, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday. See you back here later on today. Bye, everyone.